Polled experts expect the market to continue going up, but by how much? And the income needed to buy a home has increased 80% since January of 2020. Is that consistent with San Diego though? Rates. When are the feds finally going to drop rates? Well, that'll be interesting to talk with you about. All this and more covered in your San Diego market report. I'm Karl, your San Diego Realtor. Let's jump into it. 100 experts were polled on their expectations of the direction of the real estate market and their expectations on mortgage interest rates. The overall consensus is that values will continue to rise, though not at the same rate that we've seen since 2020. This is likely due to the strong job market we're experiencing, coupled with the limited inventory we have. People are employed and jobs are growing, so the financial progress is moving upwards as per reports done by ADP. Nevertheless, the limited inventory issue is primarily due to the lack of new construction. We simply don't have enough homes for people. This is going to keep the demand for housing higher than the inventory available, which drives pricing up as per basic economics. Now, San Diego has its new construction challenges. Being that we can't expand west because of the ocean, we can only develop so much of central San Diego before having to move outward, where it might be too far for consumers to want to move. And let's be honest, who moves to San Diego for its great weather and lifestyle and agrees to pay the high price for it, but only to live on the outskirts? If you check out our new construction projects that are happening, a majority of it is higher end price points, even the attached properties like condos and townhomes. This doesn't suggest that we don't need housing in that price range, because there is obviously a demand for it, since all the new construction is being bought up faster than they can build it. What it is doing is making it harder for the entry-level buyer to get into their first home, because that part of the market isn't being built. And what does this mean for us here in San Diego? Well, it means two things. Number one, if expectations are reasonably accurate, buyers are not going to get a break on getting into the market anytime soon. Possibly not for at least 4 to 5 years. The 2024 expectation is for housing to go up in price between 1.6 and 6%, which means on $1 million home, it will appreciate between $16,000 and $60,000 alone. Now keep in mind, if rates stay the same, that is roughly $100 to $400 difference in payment monthly by the end of the year if real estate pricing continues as expected and rates stay the same. It will only get more costly for buyers to get in the market if they choose to wait. The second thing, the rate that prices increase may affect our limited inventory farther into the future. Now I'll explain. If values don't go up at a reasonable rate, and I'll use that term very loosely, we will see less homeowners getting the equity they need to be able to make another move down the road. If that's the case, the ability to move up will weigh heavier on growth of income. One possibility is that this could lead to homeowners adding on to their current homes rather than selling and buying up, which is what we're already experiencing to a small degree here in San Diego. It could likely be cheaper for a homeowner to do an add-on to their home than to figure out a way to grow their income to a level that would qualify them to buy a bigger home, which makes as a great segue to the next topic. Now get this. The national income needed to purchase a home has increased 80% since January of 2020. Now let's put that into context and see if it's consistent with San Diego. This home here sold in February of 2022 for about $608,000, and nowadays it's going for about $1 million. Now let's see how the payment differs. A $608,000 purchase price with 20% down gives a full mortgage payment of almost $2,900, and that includes taxes and insurance. Fast forward today, that same home for $1 million with 20% down gives a full mortgage payment of just about $6,400, and again, that includes taxes and insurance. And what does that difference come out to? Well, that's well over the 80% national rate. Here in San Diego, the income needed to purchase a home has grown roughly 120% since 2020 based on this example. This is why it's so important for the feds to keep interest rates elevated. And all this sounds spot on with the recent report Zillow dropped showing the income needed to comfortably buy a home throughout various cities in the US. San Diego coming in at a little over $273,000. With higher interest rate, the amount homes will appreciate is going to slow down in comparison to how it was in 2021 and 2022. During those years, it was a regular thing for a seller to get offered 10 or 20% over asking, with the buyer agreeing to pay over the appraised value if needed. These high interest rates are hurting everyone, and at the same time, believe it or not, they're really saving us. Yes, I understand that interest rates go beyond just mortgage rates. When feds raise interest rates, it has an effect across the global economy, either directly or indirectly. But with the way costs were just growing out of control as a result from COVID, with supply chain issues and such, raising rates was really the only thing feds could do to put inflation in check. And with that being said, the only way for the feds to continue to maintain keeping inflation in check is with elevated interest rates. Now, while we're on the topic of rates, tons of buyers are on the sideline waiting for the feds to drop rates. All the while, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley asserts that prices are still going up too fast, accusing the feds, specifically Jerome Powell, that their approach to raising rates has not been strong enough. Bottom line, Ayanna Pressley, she is not for rates coming down. Now, Powell responds that rates are not the solution to the problem of pricing going up, and that proper management of interest rates is only a short-term solution. Bottom line, Jerome Powell said that our long-term problem, that the cost of living continuing go up, comes down to a supply issue. The US needs more housing. Now, for San Diego numbers, this time last year, we were sitting around 2,500 to 2,700 homes on the market for sale. As of right now, we are barely over 2,800. So some improvement there with our inventory. Not enough yet to offset demand. We are still experiencing low inventory and multiple offer situations are still happening, though not as frequently as this time last year. Now, our average market time, meaning the time a home is on the market before accepting an offer, is up from this time last year. In March of 2023, we were around 22 days. Now we're close to 30. Now, this isn't anything to be alarmed with. A market shift for us here in San Diego would probably start to show up when market times hit 100 to 120 days. So we're pretty far from that. So for clarity, if a home's been sitting on the market for about a month, that does not mean that the seller is going to accept an offer that's 5, 10, or 15% below asking. If a home's been on the market for, let's say, 3 or 4 months, then we can have a discussion about coming below the list price then. Anything prior to 3 to 4 months is not enough time. It is said that market time is the first leading indicator of a market shift. So if you're sitting on the side, riding the market out until it crashes, keep an eye on the market time. This could be a good metric for you to follow regularly. That's it for your market report. If you're thinking of buying or selling here in San Diego, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Karl, your San Diego Realtor. I'll see you in the next video.